Where was the Doctor in the Euro 2020 final when we needed him? Hello, Whovians, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who rant. On the 11th episode of Doctor Who Series 5, The Lodger, starring Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor. This is also the 211th Doctor Who story overall. Okay, The Lodger. Alright, let's just get on with it. So the plot of The Lodger is as follows. A mysterious force blocks the TARDIS, with Amy inside it, from landing, keeping it stuck in a materialization loop. It's up to the Doctor to work out what the force is, lest Amy be lost forever along with his home/motor. As he investigates, the Doctor learns of a house on Aikman Road with a staircase which people walk up but never come back down. To solve this mystery, the Doctor must pass himself off as a normal human and share a flat with Craig Owens. Okay, The Lodger. Fuck this shit. The Lodger, this is a terrible Doctor Who story. It's not very good. It's not the worst Doctor Who story ever, and it's certainly not Matt Smith's worst story, but it's probably a contender for the weakest in this season. The Lodger's just so boring. It's just nothing. The story is nothing. It's a filler episode. That's basically all I can say about The Lodger, is that it is a filler episode, and to be honest, it's not really worth talking about because you're not missing much if you miss this episode. The biggest issue I have with the story, aside the pacing, is the fact that the resolution of the story is utter shit. I mean, okay, the Doctor, Craig and Sophie managed to find out that the top of the flat is not actually a flat, but it's actually an alien ship which was using a perception filter to disguise itself. And basically, the villains want the Doctor to pilot them home. That's it. We don't know anything about these villains. We don't know where they come from. All we know is that it's a hologram. It's a holographic projection. That's it. That is just so lazy. That is just so dumb. The fact that they don't even take the time to develop a villain is awful. I mean, I like the build-up of the story in the way that people were going upstairs and we didn't know what was actually going on and they were being captured and killed by the hologram. But when we get to the third act, it is so rushed and it's so stupid beyond belief. And the reason that the ship is allowed to take off is because Craig puts his hand on the device, and then he has to think of the reasons why he wants to stay in the flat. And of course, that is Sophie, the woman he loves, who's his flatmate. It's just so dumb and it's so stupid the way that it resolves. It doesn't really make sense. I still don't understand how that solves the problem. The Doctor, can't really do anything. It's up to Craig and Sophie. I just think the script for this story is not very good. It's just a real mess. Also, Amy, Karen Gillan as Amy, she doesn't get a lot to do in this story because she's stuck in the TARDIS, and fair enough, okay, they wanted to give her a bit of a break, but at the same time, she's just there, she doesn't really get much to do. She talks to the Doctor on an earpiece, but really, her role in this story is inconsequential. Don't get me wrong, there are some good things in the story. Like, I like seeing the Doctor play football. That's actually kind of a funny little scene there when Matt Smith gets to show off his football skills, and when James Corden is saying, "Oh, Doctor, 1-2, 1-2." That's kind of funny, and how he's completely showing him up, which is cool. And I do like the performances. I actually don't mind James Corden. I think he's okay as Craig. I mean, I don't think they needed to bring him back in the next series, but we'll talk about that next time. But I actually kind of like his story and the fact that he is in love with Sophie, and the love story, it's actually quite sweet. I like it, and I think Sophie is also well played. Daisy Haggard, who plays Sophie, she does a good job, and her and James Corden have a surprising chemistry. I actually think they're kind of sweet, especially towards the end when they do finally get together. That's the best thing about the story, is honestly the love story, and I never thought I'd say that. Matt Smith, though, gives a really good performance as the Doctor. He's really kind of showing how quirky he is as the Doctor. I mean, I know the episode isn't very good, but in terms of the Doctor trying to mingle in with human life, that is kind of interesting, and I like the idea that he really doesn't fit. And there's a moment when one of the football players says to him, "Oh, we're going to annihilate the team next time." He's like, "No, no annihilation, no violence, not ever, not while I'm here. I'm the Doctor. I'm the oncoming storm." And then he was like, "You just meant we were going to beat them in a football match, didn't you?" So I really just like the fact that the Doctor is struggling to deal with human life, in that he can't actually integrate with human life. He has to be be himself, and he struggles to do that. But throughout the episode, not much really happens. You know, the Doctor and Craig sort of get along at first. He's weird, and then Craig gets infected by the damp that's on the ceiling, and then the Doctor has to go in and take over Craig's job while he's ill, and then things just kind of blow up from there. Like, I think the on-screen chemistry is good with Matt Smith and James Corden. They do have a good rapport with each other, and they do perform it well. I just think there's not much of a story here. I just honestly think the story is kind of flat, and I hate the resolution, because there is no resolution. It's dumb. Also, at the very start of the story, when the Doctor turns up at Craig's door, he has a bag full of money. Where did he get that? Because it was my understanding that the Doctor never carried money. I just don't understand how that works, to be honest. The only other thing I could say is maybe Murray Gold's music is good. But aside from that, this is a boring episode. The Lodger is a boring, terribly drawn out, uneventful Doctor Who episode. It's just basically filler. It's the Doctor trying to be normal for 45 minutes. And the actual plot in regards to what goes on up the stairs the resolution is terrible. The build-up is decent, but yeah, the resolution is terrible. I mean, I do quite like the love story, and I do like the performances, so I can't say that I hate the story, but it is just terribly below average. I mean, you know, to even call it mediocre is a compliment. So I'm gonna have to give this one a 3 out of 10. I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. I don't think it's really necessary to the series. I mean, okay, at the very end we see the crack in the wall, but to be honest, it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference. That's my opinion of The Lodger. Sorry to be negative, but I don't like this story. I don't think it really works at all. And yes, as I mentioned, we are going to see Craig again. He will be back in closing time, which is bizarre, but oh well. So that's my rant on The Lodger. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please comment down below, let me know, and stay tuned next time when I review the Series 5 finale, The Pandorica Opens and The Big Bang. So until then, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.